What do you think of this? Has privatisation of energy not created a profit-first system whereby interests of consumers are basically secondary?
Well, thank you for having me on the show, Nana. And, well, I don't really think that's necessarily the case. I mean, why else would we have seen so many energy companies going bust over the last few months? Because, you know, it seems like that the energy price cap really is at fault here, not the energy companies themselves, because what effectively the government is doing is it's stopping energy companies from being able to invest in the stockpiling and the sort of energy the sort of creating the energy stockpiles that we need when we see prices go up like this. So, you know, I don't really think it's energy companies' fault necessarily that there's been this massive problem with the energy prices at the moment. I don't think it's because they're making massive profits. I mean, if you take the average energy bill, it's about £2,000 now. Only about £35 of that is actually going to go to profit for the energy companies. You know, that's compared to like £90 in VAT, which is only at 5%, whereas for all other products, it's at 20%. So I don't really think it's necessarily that energy companies are making massive profits from this sector.
But the problem with this, obviously, with privatisation is it basically places the risk with government and us taxpayers. So when something does go wrong, we're the ones that the risk is based on. Whereas if we did own it, so if it was nationalised, it means firstly things like, for example, there was the issue with Jersey, where France was saying they want to cut the power off in Jersey. You've got people relying on a pipeline from Russia. I know we don't have much dealings with that, but on a strategic level, would it be wiser for us to actually own these kind of means of production?
Well, there are much more simpler things that we could be doing on a strategic level. I mean, for instance, we decided not to frack. And, you know, places like America, they decided that they would go into fracking. And yet we're importing natural gas from America and we're reliant on energy from Russia when we have massive natural gas reserves under our own land. So we could be using that, but the government has decided that they don't want to do that. So instead of nationalising it and placing loads of taxpayers' money at risk instead of, you know, investors' money, we're placing public money at risk if we do nationalise the energy firms. We could be doing things like allowing fracking to go ahead, and that would make the cost of energy a lot cheaper for consumers at the moment. When people are really struggling with their bills, we don't really want to be piling more risk on taxpayers, you know, when they're struggling with a national insurance increase, council tax going up, and, you know, energy prices, food prices, a lot of pressures on their purses at the moment.